Yo, what is good? It's Zenos, and let me put this image into your head right quick. So imagine playing a rhythm game, but add some fighting game mechanics into the mix. And you get a little game called God of Rock. Shout out to Modus Games for offering me a demo. And I want to just talk about the game for a little bit and just give out my initial thoughts from a person who plays a good bit of fighting games but doesn't have a lot of experience with rhythm games. And I feel like a game that is mixing both genres into one, it's pretty bold and I want to talk about it. So since God of Rock is a versus rhythm game, the goal in mind is to get your opponent's health bar down to 0, and you do this by hitting notes consistently, using special moves, EX moves, and pretty much all your tools to manipulate the opponent's note chart. And yes, you heard me correctly. There are EX moves, there are supers, there are special moves, there are ultra moves, there are reversals in this game, and there is 2 different meter systems. And on top of that, there are motion inputs in this game. I'm talking about quarter circle forwards, quarter circle back, half circles, DP motions, the whole wazoo. And yes, doing this while hitting notes consistently can be a challenge. And it may sound a little bit convoluted, but luckily there is a tutorial mode that teaches you how to play the game and understand the mechanics more, and gives you visual examples to how to use them properly. On top of that, there is a practice mode, so if you want to deal with certain matchups, deal with certain songs, characters, specific tools, or motion inputs, you do have that option. But once you get to the point to where you practice and learn, that's where the fun kicks in. But I gotta say, during my first 2 hours, it was rough. And as a person who plays rhythm games on keyboard, it's not really recommended for this game, because since there's motion inputs, they really recommend using a controller or a pad. And I had to really get used to the button layout, and I'm not gonna lie, it felt uncomfortable at first, and it was so bad to the point where I spent 2 hours just trying to find my controller preference, if I wanted to use my pad or if I wanted to use my arcade stick. And I felt like I had more room or wiggle room with my fingers when I use my arcade stick, and then my hands start hurting. I'm like, okay, nah, we're gonna have to stick with pad. And I was good with using the default controls until I played the harder songs that had more tricky patterns, really like the ladders specifically. And doing ladders with just 4 buttons with your thumb is pretty hard, for me at least. So I decided to use both the D-pad and the face buttons for my inputs, and I found this method to be a lot more efficient for me. Now, the next thing I would like to bring up is that there are 7 characters in this build, and I gotta say, they all feel unique and they have their own gimmicks and playstyles that make them stand out. You got characters like Hilda that can restore her health, and all of her specials can give her heal stacks. You got Kusaku, that's a stance character that has specials to where they can either slow down the opponent's notes or freeze their buttons. Then you have Rosetta, a charge character that can refill her special by holding the EX button, and on top of that, she can leave traps on your notes that deal damage. And some part of me feels like if there's a character in this game that can build up a whole bunch of meter real easily and just straight up just abuse specials back to back, they're going to be really dangerous. Now, as for the music, I think it's cool. They definitely got some bangers that I like on here. If you do like a lot of electronica, rock, and metal, they have all those 3 genres mixed in, and they have up to 40 songs in this build, and a lot of them are pretty decent so far. Now, as for my online experience with this game, it was pretty smooth. You are able to invite your friends if you choose to, and you are able to choose whatever characters that are in the roster. I'll say that the netcode is also pretty smooth, and the notes feel like they're on sync, and I really never had any issues. You are able to do rematches, and you are able to change a character or change the song at any time after you finish a match. Now, there isn't any lobbies, but so far you are able to just do regular player matches, so I'm cool with that. Overall, I had a good time playing this demo, and I find a good bit of enjoyment playing this game. But the biggest thing that a lot of people are going to have to get used to is the fact that there are motion inputs in this game, and there's different specials and things that make their character stand out. So I would just say that there is a learning curve to this game that a lot of people are going to have to sit down and practice to really get into. I don't feel like this is too much really a pick up and play game, not on a surface level at least. I don't believe so, but once you get down to it and practice, you'll start getting used to it and you will start to find some enjoyment out of the game. Now, if there's anything that I would like to critique, I feel that one should definitely be a lobby system, especially in a type of game like this. If you want to hold any tournaments or events, there definitely needs to be a lobby system. I also feel that whenever you select a song in God of Rock, that there should be a difficulty displayed for all the songs, whether if they're easy, normal, or hard, because even though in this game songs gradually get harder as you play, but there are songs in this game that are clearly hard at the very start compared to others. So I just feel like if they had that display in difficulty, you know, people have a bigger idea what songs they should practice on first. And my third critique will be that I feel that the health bar should be a little bit lower, because whenever you are playing this game, even if it's PvP or you just playing with the CPU, you're mainly going to be paying attention to the very bottom left or bottom right of the screen. And because that's where your notes and your meter are all at, and you have to pay attention to all of those factors. If you play a character like Hilde, who has a big focus on healing herself, you want to see your health bar. And even when your note chart is flashing red whenever you're in low health, you don't want to get to that point, especially when you're playing with that character. And my last critique is that I feel that they should introduce simple inputs in this game, because don't get me wrong, I like doing motion inputs and I don't have a problem with it, but there should be an option for those who aren't really too good with it, and that could be a breaking point for a lot of people. They should have it to where, you know, you can have a direction and hit a special button as an option, or do the motion input. And you can balance this out by possibly giving the people who do a simple input a cooldown on their meter. But those are my initial thoughts on the game. If you guys got any more questions, just hit me up, let me know. My name is Zenos. Hope you guys take it easy, stay safe, and remember to be great.
Don't you want a rematch?